I've always been interested in the mentality of groups, where it seems like we're dumber as a group than we are as individuals. We see people right now going out, buying and stocking up on toilet paper, clearing the food aisles and food shelves of everything that they can find that would last long term and be considered non-perishable. Even though if we wouldn't do any panic buying and we just stuck to our normal shopping routine, everything would be fine. There wouldn't be as much problems as there is right now. But I was reading this article from The Hill, and the article talks about how gun sales surge as coronavirus grips the U.S. And we've seen this happen before, where after 9/11, after the 2008 crash, the Obama administration, total times of crisis where people are going out and mass buying guns. And you got to ask yourself, why are they doing that? I mean, if you were to take a look at PolitiFact and believe PolitiFact, when Beto O'Rourke said that there are 390 million guns out on the streets of a country of 329 million people, 390 million guns for 329 million people. And what does that mean? It means that there is enough guns in private ownership of this country for every man, woman, and child with guns to spare. And that's not even counting all the guns that have been passed down through the generation from father to son, grandfather to grandson, and it doesn't count all the guns that are still on the shelves. I mean, we have a lot of guns here. But I wonder, what is the point of going out there and continuing to buy more guns? I mean, let me try and explain it to you this way. All right. When I think about guns and personal protection during a time of crisis, what I think about, especially with limited resources, is buying more gun clips and more ammo, not buying another gun. And the reason why I think about it this way, at least my line of thinking, is if an emergency happened and I needed to defend my family, I don't want to have to look at the boxes to figure out what caliber it is. I would like all the boxes to be the same caliber. And I don't want to have to try and think on the spot there, which caliber goes with which gun. Also, when we think about, gun clips are not universal. They are made for that specific gun. And so I don't also want to have to fumble around trying to figure out what caliber goes to what gun clip and what gun clip goes to which gun. So I keep, wondering here, why are people going out buying guns, more than what they would be gun clips and gun ammo? I mean, you kind of get my line of thinking. Now, I get it. Some people are going, well, what if the gun jams? Okay, maybe you buy, two of the same gun. That way, the gun clips that you've already loaded and the ammo all works, so you're not fumbling around with all these different clips and ammo during this time. And I get it. There are different guns for different type of situations. A handgun, has one use, and an AR-15 has another use. Granted. But how many more guns are you going to need, in a particular time of panic? Versus the clips and the rounds. You're starting to see where I'm going with this. And considering that gun sales continue throughout the year, I mean, people are buying guns on an everyday basis. And that 390 million figure by PolitiFact, is not even an accurate number. The number, is far more than that. So, is it irrational to be going out and buying guns? Now, I also get that in certain areas during a time of crisis, like what we are seeing in Baltimore, the police are publicly announcing, hey, we're not really providing any police protection during this time. And oh, yes, we're also taking a look at releasing all the criminals from our jail cells, for, safety during a pandemic. And so I get the, fear and panic, but don't you already have a gun? I mean, do you need a whole armory there? And let's say you do get into a situation that you do need to, protect your family. How many guns can you shoot at one time? Okay, you have two hands, right? That generally means you have enough capacity to either hold one rifle or two handguns, right? So having like 6, 7 guns, I mean, even in the best case scenario, you're married, you have a spouse, and they can fire a firearm, right? The maximum amount of guns that you can hold at any single time is between the two of you is 4, as handguns. So I just get kind of interested about the group mentality and how, if they were smarter, they would be taking a look at buying more clips with the ammos, not more guns with the ammo. You get the difference there, right? You get the difference between the irrationality of buying additional guns versus the rationality of buying more clips so that you can, not have to reload the clips nearly as often. You can just quickly change the clips. And I just want to kind of get your opinion on this as well as we go through and we take a look at how people react in times of fear and how whether or not it's rational or irrational, or they kind of got the right idea, but they're applying it wrong. Now, as we've seen in situations such as Baltimore, where they are saying, hey, pretty much open season for criminals, and we're going to release criminals out on the street, we have seen situations where people who haven't felt the need to exercise their Second Amendment rights, and maybe this is, where all the surge is from, is because you got a portion of the population that is creating their own armory and another portion of the population that isn't, doing anything to protect themselves, finally realizing that, holy crap, I need to go out and protect myself. But what is interesting is in times of crisis where we see people who during peacetime have tried advocating, no, you don't need guns. You don't need to exercise the Second Amendment. We need to take some of those away for public safety. And now during times of crisis, now they're going out and buying guns going, oh crap, I need to be able to protect myself. But then after the crisis, they will go back and try and advocate towards stripping people of their guns. So there is some irony, in that. But as we go through and we take a look at, gun surges, what I don't understand is how it is that there's anybody who feels the need to add another gun to their collection. After you go through and analyze the regular sales cycle and all the surges that have happened over the years, I'm just baffled that there's anybody out there who doesn't feel like they already have enough guns to protect themselves. Now, at most, you wouldn't need more than 3 guns for a person, right? Now, I guess that's more guns than what's in private ownership. But if you really feel like you need a gun, to be able to protect yourself from every situation, and if you do this, there wouldn't be all these surges happening. You need a handgun, for closed, tight spaces. A shotgun, if you want to be able to, defend, your location and a, not so wide of an area, but you want to be able to just go boom, shoot and have it take out anything in the hallway. All right. There is that, as well. And then a rifle. Anything more than 3 guns is far more than what you need. Just buy more clips instead. All right. So if you did that, there wouldn't be all these surges that would happen. There would be just some normal purchases and gun collector, sales. I get that. But then we would be able to show the complete hypocrisy of the left, though, as the only surges in gun sales would be from people who have previously advocated, we don't need guns. We don't need guns. It's amazing how they always say we don't need guns, and then we hit the times of crisis and all these gun sales surge. Now, I wish I could get some demographic information as far as how the people who are out there buying guns, how they are registered to vote. Are they registered Democrats? Are they registered Republicans? Or are they independents? But I'm not here to try and say, you don't need to go get a gun. Everybody as a responsible adult should be able to provide protection for themselves. What I'm saying here is, why are you waiting for a crisis to buy guns? And considering how many guns, that's already out there, because maybe if all the gun sales are happening from people who already own guns, maybe you should think about whether your money would be better spent on more clips and ammos than they are on buying yet another rifle or another handgun. And you also got to think about, how many different calibers of ammo and different clips do you want to have to go through and try to think about which one goes with which gun? Think about this. If you only have limited resources and resources are running out, how to maximize that spending in a more efficient manner. And so, do the surging gun sales make sense during this time? I'll let you decide on that, and I'll let you go through and analyze what I was saying about buying more guns versus buying more clips and ammo for the guns you already have. Which one is more rational when a crisis first starts to hit? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you.